So recently announced some reforms to the Title IX college campus kangaroo court with respect to men being guilty and kicked off campus with no evidence required and no evidence to support their version of the story admitted because all men are evil. We all know this, right? So they changed it a little bit. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos changed it from preponderance of evidence, which is a coin flip, almost always goes in favor of the female, to clear and convincing evidence, plus some other reforms with respect to due process, presumption of innocence, etc., so on. And that's good, but we already have a judicial system. So if someone is attacked in such a way, they can call 911, or they could call a crisis center. They can get help. There's a legal system. And let's not forget, people, college campus kangaroo courts cannot put a man in jail. Do you understand that? Feminists, the statistic, misleading as it is, but it's used all the time by feminists. Well, 90% of this never spend a day in jail. No, 90% of those accused never spend a day in jail because they are not convicted in a court of law. So conveniently, we've got Title IX with preponderance of evidence favoring the female. Toss the whole friggin' thing out. We have a judicial system. Use it. The problem is the vast majority of these cases are he said, she said. Hard to prove. And so I guess they wanted to lower it to make it easier in college campuses. And of course, that leads me to my thought process that is what they want in the actual judicial system. But hamster, it's hard to prove. You're damn right it's hard to prove when you're going to send someone to jail for 5 or 7 or 10 years. Yes, you better have proof. Beyond a reasonable doubt. But let's get to this story in the Patriot Post. And you know, this is the second time I've cut this because I got a little pissed. So this is from a writer named Nate Jackson. I assume this is an opinion piece. Due process can't restore morality on campus. The underlying problem at American universities is rampant sexual immorality. It is a fuckfest, as we all know. And it's encouraged, of course, because if you damage the foundation of society, that would be the family, you get what you get. You can see it all around you, all this stuff. So what got me in this article is the third paragraph down. And this really pissed me off. I don't know anything about this Nate Jackson, but the Patriot Post is sort of a conservative outlet usually. You know, probably pretty pro-Trump, I would guess. I don't know. I haven't read them for a while. But I mean, I did read them at some point, and yeah, they were pretty on the right. But here's Nate Jackson and his, I guess, article of faith. Accept it. Because everyone knows it's true. Here's what he wrote. For one thing, many young men seem to have concluded that young women owe them sexual pleasure. And if that is denied, they'll push to take it. Now, you can take this a couple of different ways. They're going to try a little more to get in their pants, whatever. Or you could take it the original way I took it, is that they take it. Many young men are owed sexual pleasure from women, and if denied, they just gonna take it. Jackson, the fuck? What's wrong with you? There are a minority of men who have determined they are owed sexual pleasure, and if they don't get it, they take it. Do you know who those men are? They are called rapists. You see, do you see the distinction between criminals and young men who don't do that? Nate, what is this bullshit? You take one too many feminist classes in college or something? Well, yeah, obviously all men are perpetrators and all women are victims. No. Most men do not women. Get it through your friggin' head. Well, they don't get it. They're just going to take it. No, Nate. Now, I don't know what world you live in, but I don't live in a world where men are women all over the place if they don't get what they think they deserve. My God. He continues, throwing copious amounts of alcohol, and the young woman is at best impaired and at worst, utterly incapable of granting true consent. Whoa. Hey, Nate, what if the young man is drunk and she is less so? Is he too impaired to give consent, Nate? I bet you don't think so, because she is always victim and he is always the evil. Either way, she'll likely come to regret it in the morning. What about him, Nate? What about if he regrets the night before because he had a little bit too much to drink? Yeah? No. Oh, Kangaroo Kourts are only for women. I got it. Because women are always victims, Nate. Isn't that the case? His final line in this paragraph. That is unfortunate enough, but in too many cases, that regret becomes the entire basis for punishing that young man. Absolutely true. I'll put the link below so you can read it. And maybe I'm misunderstanding what he is writing here, but I think I got a pretty good handle on his point of view. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.